Hi, everybody. This is Aaron Mesh with Willamette Week. Today, it's my pleasure to be joined by Director of Multnomah County Elections, Tim Scott. If you're like most Portlanders, you've already voted. And it is Tim's job to count those votes quickly and accurately, maybe on election night, maybe a little later. We'll find that out in a second. Tim, it's my understanding that 62% of Multnomah County residents have already successfully returned their ballots. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, just over 62% right now.
That's a phenomenal number. I don't think we actually saw that number until election day itself. As we're recording this, it's Thursday, 5 days before election day, and this many ballots. It's unheard of, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a true statement. Monday this week, we got really close to 50%. By the time we picked up the mail the next morning, we had 50%. And back in 2016, we didn't hit 50% until the Monday before election day. So this is very unusual. We usually don't have this many ballots back this early.
Can you count them now? Are you allowed to start counting them? Or I know I've been watching as everybody has all these swing states that have these unusual rules that Pennsylvania can't count them until like 2 chickens have died or something. Do you have rules about when you can begin to count?
Yes, we have very clear rules that say we can do some of the pre-processing steps as soon as we get the ballots back, like scanning the barcode to make sure it's a valid ballot for the election and doing the signature verification process. We've been doing that since we started getting ballots back. But we can't open the envelope until the 7th day prior to the election. So Tuesday, which was 2 days ago. Yeah, it's been a long year.
Oh no, it's a day ending in Y. That's literally all I know anymore.
Right. So we started opening the ballots, and we had over on Tuesday morning we had over 250,000 ballots back, I think, ready to go, ready, signature verified, and ready to start taking them out of the envelope.
So it's a Christmas morning type thing. On Tuesday, you're allowed to finally crack open the envelopes and start counting.
That's correct. The only thing we can't do prior to 8 o'clock on election night is release the results. And we have a security plan that has to get signed off on by the Secretary of State's office annually. And once they sign off on our security plan, stating that we have the proper protections in place to make sure that results don't get released early, then we can pre-process starting on the 7th day, and we usually get approved for that.
So does that mean that we're going to see a different amount of results at 8 p.m. on Tuesday?
Yes, we typically are releasing 50 to 60% of the total ballots cast for the overall election. And that's probably going to be closer to 70 to 80% of the total ballots cast for the entire election being released in that first results report at 8 o'clock on election night.
I think in 2016, the turnout was 82%.
Right, we got 86% in 2008. That's the highest that I've seen. So it's very possible that we'll hit 90%. There's lots of people who are anticipating that Oregon's turnout could end up in that range.
That would rule.
That would be pretty unbelievable. 90% turnout is huge.
So the President of the United States is very eager to have this election over. I mean, so are all of us, but he has his own reason, which is he'd like to have every vote that isn't counted by election night not count at all, because that tends to benefit people who voted in person and not people who voted with absentee ballots. I'm curious, how does Multnomah County's process for counting compare with some of these swing states when it comes to the likelihood of getting votes counted within a 48-hour window of the election?
Well, there's a lot in there. You know, we've been doing this for 20 years. We were the original vote by mail state, and counting paper takes more time than voting on a direct recording electronic touchscreen like some states do. And so if we get high turnout on election day, we are guaranteed to be still counting ballots into Wednesday and sometimes Thursday. However, with the being able to start processing the ballots early is a real advantage there. So we've gotten over 300, I think 340,000 ballots back already. And my guys were just telling me that that we've gotten 250,000 through the opening process, basically what we got back by Monday. So that gives us a huge advantage to be able to release a lot of results at 8 o'clock on election night. Will it be over? No, we'll still be going into Wednesday. We always have a night shift in a big election and go into the next day. Now, other states, like I know Pennsylvania, can't start processing mail ballots until election day. And that puts us, you know, way ahead of where they are. I don't know how many people there are going to vote in person versus by mail, but if they're starting from scratch with those mailed back ballots, that's a lot of paper processing to do starting on election day. And, you know, I don't know how long it's going to take them, but back in 2008, when we got 86% turnout with only 435,000 registered voters, we were still processing ballots Thursday evening, because back then we couldn't open ballots before election day. So we couldn't start counting until election day, and we had a huge pile of them to do.
Let's say that someone's watching this video who's among the 38% of Portlanders or Multnomah County residents who have not turned in their ballot yet. It's too late to mail it. What should they do?
Well, we have 30 official ballot drop sites throughout the county, and we're asking voters to today, if possible, make a plan for how they're going to return their ballot. We don't want anyone to be surprised. We don't want anyone to have to do a last minute mad dash to the drop box because postmarks don't count in Oregon. So it is too late to mail, and getting the ballot in the ballot drop site by 8 o'clock on election night is really the only way to get your ballot turned in at this point. And we're asking voters to vote locally, vote in your neighborhood, use your library. You can use the book drop at all Multnomah County libraries to drop your ballot, and it's just as secure as if you're using one of our big steel white boxes that's bolted to the concrete throughout the county, just as secure. But any one of those 30 ballot drop sites are secure and a great way to return your ballot. You don't need to come to the elections office. You don't need to walk it in like maybe you've seen movements on social media. Vote locally, spare the traffic around the elections office for the people who are trying to get a replacement ballot, because you can do that all the way up until 8 o'clock on election night. And we want to make sure that there's space in our office for the people who need to be here. And with COVID restrictions, we can have less people in the building.
I dropped my ballot off at my library branch on Sunday night and received a text message the very next day saying that my ballot has been received and processed. Very soothing, that little message.
We love the ballot tracking service that we subscribe to, and so do voters. We've seen more than 100% surge in signups for that. We were at about 50,000 people signed up prior to this election, and we're over 130,000 people signed up now. So people really love it. We get so much positive feedback from that message. We've received your ballot, and it's ready to be counted. So it's just some good transparency.
It may be the only push notification I enjoy receiving.
Thank you.